y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach La. I'm super excited. Y'all know I'm always excited every single week to be here with you guys on this Sunday evening in Hyde Park. The weather has been pretty nice. You can tell that the summer is winding down, though. And I'm a summer baby. I love summertime. So tonight's conversation is going to be super dope. You guys know we're Radio with the Purpose, and the two young ladies that I'm going to bring on the show tonight happen to be a company that also says they paint with a purpose. So, which I think is super, super dope. So, I want to bring on my guests to Conversations with Coach La. I have two beautiful women. I had the pleasure of meeting them at an event, and their spirits and their energy was just phenomenal. And you know, when you meet people and you go, wow, you know what, and you just got that vibe, and we started talking about different things. But what they do, I love. Anybody who knows me knows I love a good paint and sip. And the fact that they're sisters, Black women entrepreneurs with dope vibes, was all it was just dope. That sold the deal for me. So we have a lot of great ventures and collabos we have coming up. So I want to welcome to Conversations with Coach La, Queens in Paint and Brushes and Blunts. What's going on, ladies? Welcome.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
I can't hear you guys.
Oh, we're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
I cannot hear you. This always happens when I use StreamYard. It is very annoying.
Should we call in?
No?
We're on the radio right now. So we're on the radio right now.
Can you hear
me? No.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Hear me? I can't hear you. Hold on.
Listen to us. Listen to us on the radio. I sent you the live.
Oh, shit. Listen to
Yeah, click on it.
Can everybody else hear me? Let's see. One more time.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
All right, ladies, we're going to try this other way I learned how to do.
Okay.
Have you guys call me, and I'm going to do it through the phone lines. I don't know why I can't hear you. So dial the call-in number, the 617-238-7111, and we'll do it through the phone, and we'll do it that way. So that way, at least we'll have audio and visual at the same time. All right. Can you hear me now? You guys got to mute yourself on the computer. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, you muted yourself. It's a little bit of an echo still. Make sure there's no phones or audio. So turn your volume down. See how you can hear me?
Yeah.
How's that?
Is that better?
Yep, much better. Less echo. Well, welcome to Conversations with Coach La, ladies. You guys know it's live radio, so anything and everything is able to happen when we're doing this live. So, yes. It happens. I'm not sure why. We were good before. So, ladies, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you guys come on is because what you do, I think, is very therapeutic. And I know I love a good paint and sip. So I want to get a chance to know both of you. And I know you said on the post on Instagram, you said I put out your governments. So was I not supposed to tell people that your names were Conchetta and Mariah? Because, it's,
I mean, it's just they don't know our last names. We try to be discreet.
oh, I was like, I got to ask them about that. Like, wait a minute. I wasn't supposed to say that. Social media land is very different. It's very different space. So you guys have combined two really cool things together, right? You provide paint and sips, but you also infuse it with cannabis. So I'm curious about, how did you guys come up with that idea? And how did you sort of say, you know what, this is what we're going to do? And tell me a little bit about the vision and how you were able to decide that this is the way you wanted to go.
I started during COVID. We just loved painting, so we would always get together with our friends and paint. And when it was so crazy, so much going on, it was just really therapeutic, and we felt it just brought us all together. So when we were thinking about, we want to change in our jobs, and we're a difference from corporate America, so we were like, what do we love? And so we went with painting. And so that's how it originally started.
I actually read that during the pandemic, a lot of businesses like yours sort of had a decline. Did you see it pick up really quickly after, since these are usually small, intimate events?
I mean, we started just like painting with our friends on the porch, and it just grew from there. And then just started reaching out to different companies and people wanting to do paint nights after this pandemic. I know it declined just because obviously, social distancing and the whole COVID pandemic, but it just skyrocketed again. So.
Well, I think I saw the same thing, because most people wanted something where they could socially distance and that they could do something that was small and intimate. So it was perfect for paint and sips that really weren't necessarily designed for large crowds. They were supposed to be these really sort of VIP exclusive sort of vibes. So I'm assuming that, it really was a good opportunity and provided a lot of opportunity and space for a business like yours. Now, on top of that, we saw the rise of the cannabis industry as well. So I'm assuming that bringing those two things together, again, a very niche market, small, intimate crowds, that business must be good.
Yeah, business is pretty amazing. We're all about collaborating. Your network is your network. We have our hoodies and t-shirts as well that we make with that slogan. But we really live by that. And so two things we love, cannabis and again, painting. We're like, all right, how can we bring these two together and also collaborate with different companies and highlight, new products that they may have or any merch or flags, and also be able to give things to our audience.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was a perfect fit. Everyone loves it. All of our events have been sold out. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to participating in my first event coming up really soon. We'll talk about that in a few minutes shortly. So I told you guys I usually ask two questions. So a little bit of background about this show is it's all about debunking myths about mental health and talking to everyday people about how they manage their mental health. So that way we can normalize that. Guess what? It's just emotions and feelings. It's the ebbs and flows of life when life is lifing. And really just to get people talking about it more frequently so that folks are not feeling alone and as if they're the only one that gets mood swings or gets down or gets depressed or gets anxious. So that being said, what does therapy mean to the both of you?
Therapy means discussing your inner feelings and just letting go of, trauma and releasing trauma and being able to find that person. Like your therapist is like your confidant, right? Mm-hmm. So you're able to talk to them freely about feelings that you may have not been able to talk to anyone else about. And your real feelings. So it's you're actually being able to really let your real feelings come out. It's really like a release.
That's one of my favorite words for therapy.
What it means.
Yeah.
Right? Release.
It's a release. I mean,
beautiful.
I think about journaling, right? And I think about painting. I often tell people that's your mental massage. That's your release. It's a way to get that energy out. And when you think about depression or even anxiety, a lot of it is really geared towards the energy that's in your body that you don't know what to do with, right? And it just sort of manifests into moodiness, or you don't want to wake up, you don't want to do anything, or are just very jittery and moving around really fast. But at the end of the day, it's about really trying to calm that energy. So I definitely think it is about a release. What about you, Cheddar? What you think?
For me, therapy is about healing and growing. Yeah, definitely a place where you can release and get to know your true self, all the things that will come to the surface during those moments. But yeah, it's just about making an effort to be better and grow.
Yeah. Dope points, ladies. So in your day to day, because tonight's conversation is about how to boss up and still practice self-care, right? Like you guys have multiple businesses, right? To the point that was like, which business are we showcasing tonight, right? Like, cause you do so much, and then you're both entrepreneurs, you're both women, and that all being said, some of the things we know is that some of the struggles that we have as women's business owners is really around balance, right? Managing those two worlds. How do you have a successful business, an active, vibrant social life, and take care of your own mental health? How do you do all of that? So what are some of the things that you maybe have faced as business owners, that tips? How do you practice your self-care on a day-to-day?
Just keep God first. That's first and foremost.
So
Like
spirituality.
some days, like we're constantly on the go between our 9 to 5. And we have, again, 2 paint businesses. We have a clothing business. We have a lot going on. So it's like collaborations, just keeping schedules and just keeping faith. And like, I don't know where you get the strength sometimes, but definitely just praying about it before, in the morning, before we get to where we're going, after everything went great. That's just the main thing. And like making time for what's important. Recently, I hurt my leg, so it really just humbled me. Like, we're always on the go. We don't spend a lot of time with our families. We're always like, we got to be successful so we could be able to take care of our families and do so much for everybody else. And like, you really got to take care of yourself. And that's what this downtime has really made me remember. So
those are some great points. Excuse me. My mother used to always say, God got a way of slow walking you and getting your attention. And so when you talk about getting hurt and having to sit still, as two busy entrepreneurs from another entrepreneur, we keep it moving. I did 3 events this week, and I told you ladies today, you were like, well, did you go to it? Everybody needs to eat, right? Cook out. And I'm like, not today.
Oh, wait, hashtag everybody gotta eat.
Everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat.
King Emmanuel, we love him. It was a great event, and what he does for the community is amazing.
It was beautiful. I saw clips and I was like getting serious FOMO. Like I really was like, I should just go. And my body's like, no, we don't. We're tired. But it was
everybody gonna eat.
Yes. It was a beautiful event. Yes. I saw shout out to Remy in the city. She was doing some media coverage for the Urban Eat.
We love Remy.
Yes, we love Remy. So balancing. So you said spirituality. What about you, Mariah? Is there a different thing that you do that's similar or different than Cheddar?
I feel like it's very similar. I feel like it's not. I feel like I pray every day. Like when I wake up, whether it's mentally or just like I thank God every single day, like for my life and just like everything that we've accomplished and everything that we're doing and what we're working and striving to do for our businesses as well. So it's just like, again, like really, really, really important to just take care of yourself as well. Make sure you're balancing everything in a healthy manner, making sure like, okay, if I'm working, after I'm working, making sure like, okay, how long am I going to spend to, how much time am I going to spend to like keep the business running, or like what's important for both of us and like what brings peace of mind in terms of the business as well. So
prioritizing is like a major key, right? Like deciding what to do first, second, and third, and what's going to get your energy, I think is probably one of the biggest challenges, right? Because sometimes everything can seem equally important and urgent. Have you found a trick to that? And if you haven't, it's cool, because I think most entrepreneurs would probably tell me, no, every day is different.
We're still learning. I feel like every day is a learning curve. for everyone. Doesn't matter what type of business or where you are at in terms of your business. Like you said, people are always telling you different things, but it's a case by case basis.
I'd have to say staying organized in our day-to-day life as well. Just like when your mind is clutter free, everything just flows. You know, from whether it's your closet, your car, like just really cleaning up overall, like your phone contacts. Like I'm going through it right now. So, you know, it's just starting fresh.
That word, anybody else out there, organization is just like, I think that right there, I am purging. I've been in my house for like 20 years. I'm purging, and it's like definitely I've had to solicit help, which I think is another important factor to sort of talk about is delegation. You mentioned collaboration being something that's really big for you, and I think that's huge for entrepreneurs. When you think about expansion, often collaboration is the key, and that can help you expand your business without having a lot of resources. So what are some collaborations that you're looking forward to that are coming up?
We got a couple of things in the works with Big Hope Project and Remy, as well as Alana. She's a local artist. Jerry, he's another local artist. He's a tattoo artist as well as a painter. He's a music artist. He does it all. Amazing, Black King. But yeah, we have some things in the works with all of them for Suicide Awareness Month.
Awesome. So we know that a lot of the things that happens in business we can't predict, right? And we get hit with a lot of ebbs and flows. One of the things that we know is like limited capital, networks, and resources affect Black women entrepreneurs probably at higher rates than some of our male counterparts. Have you found that to be true in your business?
We haven't found it to be true. Again, we took our own personal money and bet on ourselves. So we haven't had any issues in that sense because it's been pretty profitable. So yeah.
Awesome. So I'm glad you mentioned bet on self, because one of my other questions is, what have your bet on self moments been? So just for those that are listening for the first time to Conversations with Coach La, you are tuned into the Urban Heat, and we are radio with a purpose. So what is bet on self? Bet on self is both a mindset, a mantra, and a lifestyle inspired by my dad. He is now deceased, but he used to always say, baby, you need to bet on yourself. And so my way of paying, my way of paying homage to him is I say that all the time. And then it just became something that sort of has turned into my own movement and part of my brand. And it's those times in your life where you have an epiphany, and despite your past, your current situation, or your family, you say, if not now, then when? And if not me, then who? Moments. You got any of those that you guys want to talk about and share with the listeners on the Urban Heat?
For sure. I mean, just starting off, all of our businesses, it was definitely like we were just tired. The 9 to 5, coming home to the same thing, waking up doing the same old. And I was just feeling like we always had a purpose. We didn't find it at that point. And so just betting on ourselves and saying, what brings us, you really got to think about what brings you joy. And like I said, we both love art, we love painting, therapeutic. And then also too, instead of going to events, we might as well throw our own, because who's going to do it better? So that's really what we did.
I'm loving that confidence. She said, who could do it better than us? I feel you on that.
I'm trying to be humble these days. God has humble me. But we already, climbed the ladder in corporate America. We went to college, did everything that our parents wanted us to do. And so that was what we looked at as success for so long. And then we just realized that this wasn't our version of success. So we had to really search for that. And we did, and we found it. But we do a little bit of everything, honestly. There's nothing we don't do.
Well,
I'm
still getting to know what you guys do.
You'll see all that. You can follow us on Instagram. I don't know if you want to see our socials now or after, but you can give them both. Yeah, okay, look at it. Follow at Queen_N_paint, and for us is Excellence.
Also Black Kings of Boston as well. Yes.
So see, I forgot
That's
about
very
that.
cool.
See, I forgot about that. So this is why they got all these aliases, but it's these women powering all of this,
You
right?
are missing our Black king who's working.
Yes, they power all of this behind the scenes. So one of the first events that I met you guys at was in the Seaport. And can you talk a little bit about what inspires the paintings? Because you guys had some dope paintings that you did.
Well, some of the paintings are on theme with our logo, which is right over here, our brushes and blunt logo. So we have that one. We have Barton Simpson with a blunt in his mouth. We have some. We get a logo wine glass. We have a Black King and Queen. Hello, that's a favorite. What are some other favorites? Oh, we have Bad Bunny.
Yeah, we have a sneaker one that people are obsessed with.
We have a collab coming out. We can tell you about that one. It's going to be with Lace, the shoe store. We're going to be doing it at India. The first cannabis mall. So that's going to be major.
Wait, did you say a cannabis mall?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, where is that going to be?
It's across from Fenway. It's currently open. It's Nubia. They have great brands there like MKX, Rose, some of our friends, part of those friends. But yeah, so we're going to be working with them and sneaker company Lace. We're going to be doing a sneaker expo / paint night, paint party. And we're going to have live artists painting sneakers as well. We're going to be painting canvases with sneakers on it. Lace is going to have some of their things there as well, showcasing and selling. And then a lot of the cannabis brands will be having representatives there as well. So it's going to be big.
Well, what I love is, as this cannabis industry is shifting, to see Black women taking the lead, but we're always very innovative. So I think collaborating with the Paint and Sips and your cannabis infused dinner. So can we talk about that?
Yeah, so it's been a little in season lately in the cannabis world, but what we're bringing is infused dinners to the table. So we're doing essentially something similar to like a supper club. This would be like a private event, just because people would have to like rent it out just because of legality purposes. We can get more into that, after, but we would also do like uninfused dinners. So with the uninfused dinners, it'd be like the journey from like Africa to the Americas, and it would be like a whole, like starting from Africa to going to the Caribbean, to the South, to the Northeast. It would be super dope, probably like a 7-course experience. And it would be just showcasing food from everywhere.
A foodie's dream. All the foodies out there, you guys hear this? 7 different courses from different countries influenced. That is amazing.
Yes.
I can't even imagine what I would be eating, but my mouth just said yes.
It's going to be just amazing food.
We're gonna be releasing more information on that this week with tickets being released as well. We're gonna be working with Toasted Chef Oliver on that one, and it's gonna be the 23rd of September. But we're gonna drop the flyer and ticket sales and all that this week. So if you guys follow our social media, we'll have it out this week.
Yes, make sure you guys are following them on social media so that you can
We'd love
find
for
out.
you to attend, Coach Law.
Huh? Say.
We'd love for you to attend.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. So I'm definitely gonna be there. I'm going to be. It's right when my juicing raw cleanse is over, so I'm gonna be ready to eat. I will be ready to eat. Right now, I can't eat any of that stuff, but I can eat it. I'll be able to eat it then. So, all right, ladies, we talked a little bit about your inspiration. If you were not doing this, what would you be doing?
Philanthropy work. That's really what it's all about. Our heart, we're Leos. We love helping people. That we want to travel the world and help people. That's essentially the end goal, right? So in order to do that, you got to be rich. So we don't get it any way we can, because that's what we do. So, but we want to travel and help people all over the world, and that's really where our heart is. Giving back and giving back here as well.
That's beautiful. I think that most successful businesses learn how to serve, and I'm hearing that over and over again. Is how can you add value, and how can you serve? And that has been essential even in my own business is like everything I'm doing from this podcast, radio show to pole therapy that I do in the community is a way to serve and a way to give back. So,
Right.
and it also feels good to see people smiling and happy and having a good
Oh my
time.
gosh, it's the best feeling ever.
So it isn't it? It's like I kind of now understand entertainers, like when they go and they sing and like the audience is singing the songs with them and they're like standing there just taking the energy in. It's a great feeling. So I'm thinking, right? One of the things that I always wonder about in terms of us in doing business is when things are not going right, and you have to make a pivot. Have you had any times in your business where it was not going as planned and you had to boss up and figure out, okay, how are we going to resuscitate this business and keep going?
By choosing a different venue. So you realize, okay, this venue isn't working, and we have had that happen to us. It's like, okay, it worked about 1 to 2 times, but the third time it wasn't the best choice. So like, let's figure out where we're wanted and needed rather than like, okay, let's reach for this venue just because it has a name, right? Then it's like you pivot to, hey, let's do like a private party. Let's go reach out to this. We're going to get like 5 times more revenue than we would have at the venue that has the name for a private party. Then it's like, okay, we pivoted and we've done that. Then it's like we're seeing markets and looking at needs of different businesses, right? And we're figuring out what the needs of the businesses are. And it's like, okay, we're going to expand our, not expand our brand, but just like, okay, not even rebrand, but like think of something else. So like, especially in 2023, you're always going to have to pivot, like moving forward, 2023 and on, because with social media and all the other aspects in terms of business and technology, you're always going to have to pivot.
Yeah. Oh, that's a mouthful. So I think, and I say that because
this is real life, and this is our story.
Right. And it's also like sometimes I think entrepreneurship in general is glamorized. Like everybody's talking about boss up, level up. But what does that mean exactly? And what do we really do to boss up and level up? What does that look like behind the scenes? Is often like going back to the drawing board and figuring out how to get creative and collaborating and everything that you just said. So do you guys like say, look at each other and go, yeah, this isn't working? Or is it like one of you are like, nah, we're good. We're going to keep.
Times than not. So.
Are you always in unison with it though? Or do you like one of you is like, nah, we're good. And the other one's like, nah, we need to do something different.
Usually, I'm just so nice. And I always just keep just being nice. And Mariah be like, you run the hard way every time.
So interesting because you don't look like the nice one. Right? Mariah looks like she's the nice one, and you look like you're the hard, ASS. Like you like.
I'm a little dumb. We're both nice. We're both nice.
Nice, but somebody has to be like the executive decision. Like, nah, we're gonna has to come in and.
It's both. We're both. It's both. Leos are nice until you just keep playing. You keep poking the bear. Yeah, you know what? I didn't want to talk about poking the bear.
But the thing is, as a woman, do you find though, like us being assertive, right? Assertive and being able to advocate for ourselves is sometimes perceived as us being a bitch versus with men, it's like, yeah, he's the boss. He's the man when he does that.
We don't care. We've had a man tell us to what? Be humble. Asking for what we're worth.
Be humble. Okay, y'all gotta break that down. So wait, he was saying yesterday's price is not today's price. He was upset about the pricing.
He tried to. He got up from the table. He tried it. Yeah.
And so it's interesting that you say that because that's also another pain point for a lot of female entrepreneurs or females in business in general is negotiation and asking for the money. Often we can shy away from asking for that large dollar amount that we really want, and we can shortchange ourselves because we're too afraid to ask. It's been said in the research that women actually negotiate better for other people than they do for themselves. So
That's very true.
how have you guys done that? Do you send one in to sort of do the negotiation for the other one so that you can get the fair deal? How do you navigate those pricing?
Oh my gosh. No, we're upfront these days. It's no more child's play. They don't play with us. They don't play with us enough.
Mm-hmm.
We ask for what we want, and if we're not getting paid, we're walking away from any deal. We don't care.
Mm-hmm. So are there ever situations where you would reconsider that pricing, like negotiate?
I mean, are you Apple? Are you Google?
Okay, all right. So you bet.
Free?
Okay, all right. But see,
Here's the
Apple and
thing,
Google
here's the
got
thing.
money. They have money. They shouldn't be negotiating the price. They
No,
need
but
to pay
they
it.
shouldn't even negotiate us. They shouldn't even. And Apple and Google wouldn't even do that. Would they ask the white woman to be humble? Is my thing that I always say. No, you're going to accept her price, so you accept mine as well.
So was this a
That's
black
where we're
man
at.
that said
That's
be
where we're
humble?
at.
Was he black? He was a black man that told you to
He
be humble?
was, and that was very disheartening. That was very sad for us.
Wow. Come on, brothers. We got to do better. We got to make sure the
I
sisters
said,
are getting
they
equitable
be
pay.
anointed. So when we speak with confidence and know our worth, just know it's because God gave us the message and we walked away.
I have had similar moments with businesses as I built Pole Therapy and had to do some pivoting and some moving around. So I definitely feel you on having to have those conversations. So tying it back to mental health, though, are you able to do that without feeling it in your body? Or are you hella nervous and overwhelmed and anxious when you're in these difficult conversations? How do y'all navigate that energy?
The funny thing is, I do struggle with anxiety, but when it comes to business, I'm a whole nother person. Like, it turns off. I can talk to anybody about anything, and we ask them for everything. Like, what did Denzel say? We leave it here with something. I'm from every day. Hello? I don't even like going out. So if I'm going out, I'm mingling, we leave it here with something.
Well, I think that is probably one of the best things is to be able to network and to have conversations and figure out, like you said, what is going on, what are the industry trends, and find out how can you have mutual wins. So I think even with our meetup, it was like, okay, how can we mutually, collectively help one another in terms of building our brand? So I think, that's probably one of the biggest, I would say, tips is to be open to finding out what other people are doing in their businesses and what they're trying to accomplish and seeing if you're in alignment versus trying to force an alignment. Is there a natural organic alignment? Is there something that you can bring to the table that would benefit the other business and vice versa? And a lot of times collaborations would be a lot more successful, I think. So what is one of your like horror stories like in business? Like, is there something that went terribly wrong and you were like, yeah, we're not ever messing with that? You don't got to give the names of people, but like, I'm all set with how you do business.
Where's the scroll? Where's like let's roll up the
Yes. But it happens, right? That's another thing that's difficult, right? Is like when you have to walk away from people that may be friends or you were cool with, you like them as people, but business wise, they could be trash.
Well, first and foremost, we love everyone. We uplift our people always and forever, and we don't pillow talk. But what we will say, everything's a life lesson, and we thank them because they taught us early on. We'll rather learn early than late. We're going to take those L's and win with them. So, yeah, we don't need to discuss those folks. God bless them.
I know that's right. Well, let's do a quick check-in. And say what's up to the people that are tuning in through Facebook, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. You're tuned into Urban Heat 98.1 FM. This is Conversations with Coach La. I am your favorite around the way therapist, and I have the ladies from Queens and Paint and Brushes and Blunts, which are doing some amazing things in the community. They infuse cannabis in a lot of their work, but they also do non-cannabis work as well. But I love paint and sip, so I'm super excited to be able to start doing some things with you guys, so I don't have to be searching anymore for people to do my paint and sips. I love the paintings that they allow us to paint, and I'm sure I'm gonna challenge them to create even some more dope customized pieces for my brand. So I'm looking forward to those conversations as well. So
yeah, but let's just shout out 600 D Street, Larry D's Barbecue Cafe. That's where you met us. Like, support Black-owned restaurant. Like,
yes,
Black-owned vibes. BRB Social. Shout out to the Queen. the mastermind, Queen Remy, and that's how we were introduced
Yes.
to the Queen.
Can we, and let's talk a little bit about that, because it's a Black owned, there goes Remy. Hey, Remy. So she just checked in. Shout out to the Facebook users. What's going on, cuz? I don't know which one of my cousins is on here. They just said, what up, cuz? That might be my real cousin, or that could just be family saying cousin. So a lot of people are saying that's so true. Also, my sister, shout out to my sister as well. And that's tuning in on the check-in. So I know that I have recently, I would say, leveled up or bossed up, if you want to call it, right? And a lot of times what that looks like, you got a lot of projects going at once. And for people looking on the outside looking in, they're like, oh my God, you're doing so much. But for me, I'm like, man, I feel like I am on top of cloud nine because all of my projects are moving and I didn't manifested it. And then you have the moment like I told you guys about, there's a crash, right? Where you're just tired and you got to listen to your body, which Mariah was like, listen, you got to listen to your body and take that rest. Have you had those moments where you really needed to rest, but you really couldn't because you had to like get stuff done? So you just had to push through?
Just like day after day, event, or like no rest. And you're like, I'm really crashing because I need sleep. Like I really need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Like in between, like there's so many like things that happen in regular life, right? Then business wise and then everything else. You just need like a day to focus on yourself.
We were literally nonstop up until our birthdays were 2 days apart. So her birthday's August 14th, mine's the 15th. So we had like 3 to 4 events a week. We were nonstop until a week before our birthdays. Like, all right, we're going to prepare for our birthdays and go away to Dominican Republic. It's going to be great. That was our time to breathe.
I love that. So what we call that is like working in, I would say like a quarterly push. So I don't know if you guys do this, but I will be like, all right, I know for the next 3 months, it's going to be bananas. I'm going to work. I'm going to stay in the trenches. And then I have a couple days that I know that's planned to do absolutely nothing, or I will not take any phone calls for a few hours just to like recalibrate. So if you're texting me and calling me and I'm not answering, I'm real unapologetic about my self-care. When I need to unplug, I completely unplug. So another tip, you have to have moments to unplug. I think it also makes you more creative. What do you guys think about that? When you get that rest, don't you come back out the trenches like clear-minded and you're like ready to go?
I've definitely been like the past week, I've just been unplugging. It's like just reading or watching something on YouTube, learning something new instead of talking on the phone, because it's like, and just not even going to events. It's been beautiful. Just, God this has all happened for a reason. I've been able to get my thoughts right, just relax, you know. It's very great. I haven't had a moment of rest in, I feel like, forever.
Well, you guys went away. You did go away, but it looked like when you were away, you were networking too. Did I read that right? Because I could have sworn it looked like you guys was like meeting up with all kinds of businesses while you were in DR.
Everywhere we go, you know, we try to make a connection. Your network is your net worth. You never know who you're going to meet. That's what we do. We love to find out, you know, what you do, what we do, how can we confuse it too. So yeah, it was all good. It was all great. So it wasn't. So yeah.
Well, so inside joke, when I went to the Black owned Vibe social, Remy was like, Coach, why you sound like you're still on your show interviewing everybody? Like I'm walking around like, what do you do? And how did you come here and everything? But I left with so many contacts that day. But I don't know. Do you ever feel like though, when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work? Like I don't feel like I'm working.
Right.
Or that is something that it's a force. It's just a natural thing for me. So I think that's the other thing is like when you decide to add on something else to your 9 to 5 or before you jump out of your 9 to 5, it really needs to be something that you would do even if you didn't get paid. Y'all agree with that?
I feel like yeah.
Yeah. You know, I wonder, sometimes people chase the money, and I'm learning that that's like, I've learned and knew that before now, but I can definitely validate. Don't chase the money, because there'll be days you don't want to do this and the money will be not in alignment or won't be good. And those are the moments that I think a lot of people quit because they didn't really follow something they really enjoyed to do, regardless if they got paid or not.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about
No,
quitting? Have you thought about quitting?
No.
Not
we
even
didn't
once?
Too far. We didn't get too far to quit. Too many people want us to get quit. Maybe they will never.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I'm going to be honest. I'll be like, am I really doing the right thing? But I think that's when, in the moments that things are not going the way I want them to go, right? Like you plan something out and it's not working. And those have been the moments where all I hear is pivot. You know what to do. I've already given you all of the skills and resources to make this happen. Figure it out. Go talk to somebody. And I always do when I listen, and it always goes well. So I think that is very true. I think people think about it, but I don't think I would ever really do it. I've just thought about it. So tell me about these upcoming events. I know you said that for Suicide Awareness Month. Why is that particular cause important to you?
It's just important because your mental health is like the basis of who you are as a person, right? So it's like if you're in a good mental state, then positive things come from that, right? So in our communities, mental health isn't normalized. It's just like something that's put on the back burner by, a lot of our family members. So we bring more light to it. And we just want to make a great event and people realize like, you're not the only person going through this. There's so many people going through this issue, whether it's like you're someone who just got released from prison or someone who's been in jail himself. It's like, oh my gosh, like we have speakers up there that are like, have been in jail and have felt like, oh my God, maybe I want to like die, or like that's an exaggeration maybe, or like, I don't feel like I'm that good of a person. But like so many people feel like that. And we are so passionate about, focusing on your mental health. And in order to be like not just successful, but just fulfilled with yourself, your mental health is very, very, very important. And just like when we take vacations, that's great for your mental health. You're getting away, you're visiting another country, or you're going somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are just like some of the main points in terms of like why we're doing this.
They have said that there's a disproportionate amount of people of color who attempt suicide, have suicidal ideation, or actually have been successful, right? So I think it's really important. I think a lot of us know how to code switch. Shift is probably more the better word for it anyway, but code shift, switch, all of that, right? And I think when you're able to hide how you really feel, sometimes you can forget how you really feel, and you're dealing with that, and you only really find out in your quiet moments that you're really not okay. And shout out to Vic Breedy. Yesterday we did her genetically resilient gala, and she gives out what we call a bounce back magic award, which is to showcase people who've been resilient. And shout out to Regina who she does Mindful and Melanated, which is a support group and space for women of color. And she talked about her suicide attempts. And I told her, I said, I'm glad that she's still here, or we would have never met, right? And she was able to get her flowers. So I think we need to consistently talk about it, because often I think people shy away from the idea that people commit suicide because they feel like that's the only option left, right? Like things are so bad that I just don't want to deal with it, and that's the only thing that they can think of as a solution. And that's a really sad place to be, right? And I think a lot of times it stems from a lack of support, or feeling seen, or feeling heard. So what can people expect at your events that you're going to do that are going to be geared towards suicide awareness? What can they expect?
They can expect for people to, relate, like speakers that we're going to have to relate to their stories. We have a kind of like wellness bar that we're setting up, like with a couple of sponsors that'll be there doing some like massages to like what else are we doing?
We have Chill Medicated. They have a couple cream. They have a CBD one that has cannabis in it as well. They're going to be doing hand massages. We're going to be having someone there doing yoga. We have a live artist. You're going to be seeing Alana Marie. She sings R&B, gospel,
Ooh.
a little bit of everything. And 3 songs that she said she's going to perform. They all reflect how she was feeling at the time, dealing with her mental health. We also have an artist, a local artist. His name is Jerry, he's a tattoo artist, as well as a painter. He's going to bring some of his artwork. He has a gallery called Rich Slums. And he's going to disclose, how he was feeling at the time when he first created that art gallery and was displaced from his own.
That already sounds like a vibe.
Panel. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of different resources there. We're still gathering some. If anybody wants to be included or wants to be a sponsor or a vendor, feel free to contact us on Instagram as well. But yeah, we're just going to have a lot of different resources for people that look like us and the community. It's going to be great food, provided by Larry J's Barbecue. So definitely come out and check us out.
Ooh, I love Larry J's Barbecue. I love Larry J's Barbecue. One of the things, and this is, I didn't even know it existed, right? So I think, again, we think Boston's so small and everybody knows everybody, but often that's just not the case, right? Like, who knew? And I felt like, how did I not know? He said he had lots of write-ups and stuff in the paper, but I didn't know about it. So I was thankful. Thank you to Remy. Thank you to both of you for putting together something like that, especially outside. It was definitely a vibe. I'm hoping you guys get to pull off one more because the last one got canceled because of the weather. So
yeah, the next one's going to be September 1st. It's going to be more of a game night.
Yes.
Then we have another one the 8th with Remy's going to be doing it with Amanda Shea, and it's going to be a poetry night.
I love Amanda Shea. Shout out to Amanda Shea too. She's been on my show as well.
Shout out to Amanda Shea.
We love the Queen Amanda.
Yes. And she's also performed at Poe Therapy as well. So definitely a vibe. So ladies, if you woke up tomorrow and your life was completely a 10, everything was perfect, you're 10, because everybody's 10 is different. What would you notice was different about your life, yourself, your environment? What would be different? Like a true entrepreneur, they're like, listen, our bank account would be fatter.
If you woke up tomorrow, life is perfect.
Yeah, like you're 10. So I often do this self-care wheel, and in there's different quadrants, like your financial life, your physical life, what would make it be at a 10? So some people, like, when you start to look at those different quadrants, are not where they want to be. Every area of their life is not a 10. And that's their level of perfect, right? Ideally, you want to shoot for a 7 or 8, right? In all of the different areas of your life. But if you woke up tomorrow, right? Because most of us still are not at a 10 where we want to be. What would be different? So Mariah said the bank account, but would there be anything else that you would notice is different about you or your world?
I would say health. Yeah, health. If I could, that money can't buy that. But to have my parents be healthy, I could walk normal again. That'd be great. Before money, because we gonna always get the money. We have to, but yeah, health, longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, just happiness. You can't buy that either.
Just happiness, like not thinking about the little things, and like lately, like just mentally.
I want everyone to be good. That's really what matters to me. Everyone to be good, in a great space, and good health. Then money, so we can live lavishly. But if we're not in good health, what does money matter? If we're not happy, what does money matter? So yeah.
Sure. There are people who have so much money, all these fashion designers that, go through these things with his They have all the money in the world, but they're really not happy.
We'd love to be, our businesses grossing $1 million a month, ideally. We'd have the best looking men that are successful, that are bosses, standing right next to us.
Best looking mean like best looking. not like face size, but just like healthy overall, just like image looking. Like
I want my man to be fine. Lord, man, especially fine.
I'm not mad at you.
If there's any on here, it's teen_Kenyatta at Instagram. I'm single.
See?
She's single.
Listen, I was gonna ask you, ladies.
Someone could dive and not her, please.
What?
Thank you.
I like it all.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. We got a few minutes left. What is it like dating as an entrepreneur?
It's a lot. It's a lot because if they don't match your hustle, then all of a sudden they're making time for them. Now they're on dating apps and doing the most. There's a lot of those out there. So what I will say is make sure that y'all align so they understand when you're busy, it's because you're trying to build for your future, their future, if you're going to be together. And someone that really understands that, because a lot of times people just get lost in the sauce and you out here just trying to work and get to the bag.
It's hard out
And
here.
it's like, I haven't had a boyfriend
Someone who's secure, that doesn't question you when you're just trying to make connections, business connections, like you don't gotta explain every interaction or hello. It's a lot. At this new moment in time in our life, there's a lot that we just set the bar. We just gotta set the bar higher.
I've been single for 5 years, so
Man,
I mean it's been a while.
I could have stayed single. That's where I'm at. But yeah, it's just we agree on a lot. So moving forward, we just pray to God and say this. We're gonna hustle till he sends that.
Coach Rock, can you say on us to find a black king, please?
Look, can I say this though?
Black kings in Boston, and we don't got a black king. Boston do better.
I think we need to plan an event, ladies, for men, right? So a little dating tip, right? We got to go where the men are and do what men do.
You don't have to be black, but black kings is great.
True. So I have some ideas of some events to attract men to come and hang out because they're out here, right? But they're probably not doing. They're probably talking like how we're talking. Like they looking for us like we looking for them, but we can't find each other because we all busy. So we got to make space to not be busy.
After you say this, I need to like preface something that I found out yesterday.
What's that? What did you find out yesterday?
So there's this man I met yesterday. Shout out to Hamo, designed by Hamo. He owns a jewelry company in the North End. He's from Greece. He's Armenian. And he's like, I really can't find love. And I'm like, these girls are trying to use you, but he's looking for the wrong type of girl. And I'm like, he's divorced. But it's like, how do you find someone when you only have money to offer? And I told him that. And
well, you know what? That's a good point, right? As we're gonna have to have a part 2, right? Because we're gonna.
I know we're about to.
We're gonna have to have a part 2.
We had a hard time last night.
Because I think that
I met a mutual friend of ours.
But I think that the fact that he's offering money is also a societal construct that's what men think they have to do to have value, right? Like I need to have money to be seen and for women to want me. I need to be able to let them know I can provide for them. So he really is not all his fault that he's like leading with his money, because that's probably what he thinks that's going to attract the women. I don't know what his personality is like, but then you find guys who have really nice personalities, but when they're broke, let's be honest, ladies, sometimes we side eye them when they broke and they got nice personalities because they're not matching our ambition.
No. If you're a Leo, you're encouraging them, you're trying to help them out. No more. If it's someone who has ambition and is like working to make something. Remy.
But I have to agree with Remy. Like you guys are saying that now, but my list of like my list of things that are turning me off has gotten longer. Like as I've gotten older. Like
okay, Coach Law, why are you single? You're a beautiful.
How do we know black people?
I'm trying to tell you. So listen, I date regularly. And I try. I'm very open. It's not me. This time I'm really going to say it is not me. I think that therapists need love too, but I think because I have now this third eye, if you want to call it, it's hard to like not go into I can clinically see you and I can clinically see what you possibly need to be doing. And it's like, do I shut that off and not see the red flags because I don't want to be your therapist? Right? Like, and not everybody's going to go get therapy or even is aware of their stuff. And if I start telling them what their stuff is, that's not the lane I should be in as the girl you're dating. And, I want intimacy. I don't want to be your therapist. Like, I want to be a lady in this and be taken care of and all of that.
I feel like the only kind of man that can intimidate me is someone who is a therapist, because I feel like they'll try to figure out everything about me.
And she just
It's
asked
not
me,
me,
why
right?
am I single? So think about it, right?
Okay, so now
I don't even
understand
want to
it.
lead with I'm a psychotherapist, right? Like so my new thing is when they ask me what I do, I say I help people win. And then if they ask me
I love that.
if they ask me a
I
follow-up
love
question,
that.
I might say more, but I help people win. So then they have to, like, you know, because if I start right out the gate, I'm a psychotherapist or I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker.
But at least stay away.
So basically you're about to
No,
read
because
my
you have
mind.
so much to bring to the table. So they're saying that because you have so much to bring to the table.
Yes. Well, we're going to have to come back and talk about dating as an entrepreneur. That might be a whole topic. So, because I do think that there was a lady, she's called the Budgetnista. And one of the things that she talked about is her game. And I always bring everything back full circle. So let me stay with me now. I'm about to bring why I brought this dating thing up. She said once she got the perfect partner for her, that's the key word. Her level up was out of this world, right? Like her business exponentially grew, her self-worth, everything was in alignment because she had a great partner. And I really, truly don't believe that we're supposed to be here by ourselves. But when you get that right partner, like everything sort of gels, you have more energy, the support is there. I think the hardest thing is I've been doing this by myself for a long time. Imagine if I had like someone that was rooting for me as my partner, right? And we were tackling things together and it was a healthy relationship. Like you are just like, you're already untouchable. That just makes you be like in a whole nother spectrum hemisphere. Like you're just out of this world with your level up. And I always thought about that. And then unfortunately her husband passed away, but her saying that, like her whole business, everything just shifted. She was already happy. That's the other thing. I'm already happy. You know, I have moments where I get down, but I'm already happy. Like I know how to make myself happy. I date myself all the time. So like, I think that also can be intimidating to some guys. Like I spend $100 easy on my own self going out to eat. Like before, like, so if you can't do that and I'm doing that, like the bar is already here before I even met you.
Girl, you know how many times I've taken myself out to eat many times.
I go out to eat by
really
myself. I mean,
Me
I'll do a
too.
lot of
I love
things.
it.
I'll do a lot of things by myself. So I'm used to it, right? I don't mind it and I don't look at it as a bad thing. Some people do, but I think that's how you get to know what you like and what you don't like. And you have to enjoy your own company. So I think also when you think about this leveling up, you have to be really good and confident and have a foundation of self to be an entrepreneur, because there's going to be so many things being thrown at you all the time that you'll question your self-worth if you don't have a good foundation.
Period.
So I don't know. We literally got 1 minute, ladies. Any closing thoughts?
Well, this was amazing. We're so grateful for the opportunity. And just thank you so much. You are an inspiration. You are a Black queen, and we love to see how you uplifted us today. And we support you, and we just look forward to working with you, Queen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're about to do some major moves, major keys.
Yes.
Gonna be on our DJ Khaled, like we winning. What does he say? Like, how am I gonna quote something and then I can't quote it right? Like, come on. Like, what's wrong with me? All I know is major keys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We are in the winner's circle. So thank you guys for tuning into Conversations with Coach La. See you next Sunday for another episode. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Have a great and productive week, and y'all continue to bet on self.
Amen.